Meditation is actually very simple. It's just being here now. But to actually do that is not so easy because there is a lot of which is getting in the way. So like all the beliefs and conditionings and age and whatnot have their say in it. Though all this has nothing to do with meditation, because meditation is just that simple being present in oneself. But if I get distracted, pulled into this or that, then I lose the presence. So that's where the work comes in, where the difficulty comes in, to not to get lost in the events. I call it the events of the moment, but to keep coming back to just being present. Because it's just how the thinking mind is working, that it is very interested in new things, it wants to be entertained, it wants to judge, it wants to evaluate, say good and bad. And all this, the more I go into it, the more I get lost. So the meditation is like something to keep coming back to now, to make a turn from looking out into looking in, and to be inside the body. Presence has a lot to do with being in the body. Well, the body is a good tool to experience that, because the body is here now. So the more I'm connected, present in the body, the easier it is to just be here, not to get distracted. So the difficult part is to educate the thinking mind to the extent that it's not a fighting with that part, but slowly convincing the mind that to be present is a better strategy. That if I want to meditate, that's what's happening. So it doesn't matter which method I use. It's not by just sitting down and I'm meditating now and say Om and close my eyes. That's not meditation. Like the posture itself is non-essential. If I can use it to be present in the moment, great. So all meditation, traditional meditation practices have to do with connecting with the body. Like in Buddhist, where you watch the breath, because the breath is every moment coming in and going out. And there's movement, because the mind also likes movement. It's interesting. So when there is something just still, it cannot compute anymore. So it's either watching the breath or doing a body scan or humming or something, so which brings awareness to be in the body now. All these postures or methods I can use, but they can be an invitation for meditation, but they are not meditation themselves. It's really not to mistake that, because I can sit here and just close my eyes and listen to the birds and feel the coolness of the air and be present. I don't have to sit cross-legged, or it doesn't matter if I have my eyes open or closed, if I watch my breath or not. Presence can happen any moment. Well, we do it because it connects us with the being. And so that this shift happens from looking out, what I'm seeing, like everything around, and like my eyes immediately go when I see a bird flying there, yeah, the eyes go there. But in meditation, it's actually more interesting who is looking out of my eyes, who is hearing with my ears, who is sensing with my body. And then the tricky part is that when we hear the word who, we immediately think of a person. And then the experience, the direct experience of myself is actually nothing personal. And this is, takes a bit of understanding, a bit of moving into this paradox and slowly allowing these ideas I have, who has to be a person. And then I'm discovering, yes, it is me who is experiencing what I'm experiencing, but the presence is not a person. A presence is a non-material thing. A person is something material. So meditation brings awareness to the non-material in us, that what we are born with, the face we are born with, or our mother and father are born with, long before we existed. So it has nothing to do with the personal experience is there, of course. I need to be present in this body. It's not just any body. It's not, I'm not the body. I'm here and the body is here. And to go into the direct experience. But what I'm finding then, when I want to determine who I am, actually I'm at a loss. I use words, but they don't match the direct experience, because who I am isn't actually not an experience. But I haven't found a word to use. In some tradition it's called the soul, in others it's called the spirit, in others it's called the godliness, in others it's called the being. It doesn't matter what label I stick in. What matters is that I have the direct experience of it. And so meditation, eventually, when I'm connected with that, and this is what I'm born with. It's not something which I, with a lot of therapy, have to create. It's not my creation. It's more the other way around, that I have to remove all that what has been piled on top of it. Meditation brings in focus the vertical, which is actually there every moment in our lives. But since we're so busy with checking out what is happening, what we're seeing, what we feel, who said what, and we lose the connection, the awareness of it. And for me, meditation is to stay first to discover it again, that it's there, to reconnect, and then to live from there. Like to have this presence of who is looking out of my ears, our eyes, and who is hearing with my ears. So that I have both dimensions of the material, of the things, events which come and go, and the other dimension which doesn't come and go. And because it doesn't come and go, it's so much more difficult to detect it. It has something to do with joy. that so often meditation is looked at as this serious thing. And part of our being is joy. That it's to find out who I am is not a sad, boring affair where I have to, I can enjoy it. Joy is like a no-no. It's like here in life, I'm born in sin and I have to suffer, and then maybe somewhere I can have fun. Then paradise, but only after the day of judgment. So I'm on a very long suspense. And I have no guarantee if that's really true, what anybody tells me. But if I go in, I can discover, hey, I can have a good time with myself. So this is one of the discoveries that when the more I go in and the more I'm connected with myself, the less other-oriented I am. And this doesn't mean that I move away from others. It means that I'm coming into my own authority. I have the point of reference inside of me, and I'm not putting it on parents, teachers, priests, whoever, masters, who tell me what to do and who I am. No, the touchstone is inside of me. So I can have a lot of support from other people. It's not that I have to do everything myself, but I can learn from others, but I need to learn to take the responsibility for myself, like the ability to respond. And in our education, that's not wanted, because we are not easily manipulated and controlled if we are moving into the mode of being self-oriented, which is not selfish, has nothing to do with selfishness or egoism, nothing at all. So this is a very, very, very difficult point for most people to understand, because if somebody really goes there, it's the end of blaming. I cannot blame anybody anymore for my misery, for my happiness, for anything. It's in my court. So that's the end of blaming, and it's to take responsibility, and this is my ticket into freedom.